I thought I kind of saw the hurt in your eyes yesterday when I apparently realized there wasn't much media in the room. So I wanted to follow up and ask a question. If that
This
was
must be Sam.
yes. We often hear about, especially at the games, in a lot of society, that people say thank you for your service. People, in the military and other places in society. And I know nobody feels sorry for NBA players, because of salaries and things like that. But this is a particularly unusual Olympics, because of, what the players, coming off a short season, wearing masks, short, as Jerry Colangelo said, short traveling party, testing every day. And does it say anything about the NBA players who are participating in this? How, guys like Kevin Durant, who had injuries, the guys from the finals teams who are going to go right from the finals to join you. Jerry mentioned about Zach LaVine, couldn't be more happy, excited about, getting the notice. What does it say about the players who wanting to participate in this?
Well, more than anything, for me, it boils down to what I told them. I think they're making a really big and important sacrifice, considering, what you mentioned, Sam, basically COVID, for like a year and a half, being in a bubble and then going through this season. Society-wise, social issues that are going on exacerbates, already the feelings you might have during COVID, just being isolated so much, and the quick turnaround to go back over, and especially, the three guys that are going to come right after the finals. I think it's a testament to their character, their desire to show the world that they can be the best basketball team. They love playing, but to me, I call it a sacrifice. They're sacrificing a lot. They can't take their friends or family to Tokyo. I don't know what fans are going to be there. I don't know the way it is, even what Japanese fans are going to be there from everything that we hear. So it's a huge sacrifice, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Samuel Rodriguez, you're up then. Tim Reynolds, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. This is Samuel Rodriguez from New Stitch Media. Can you talk a little bit about the role Bam is going to have to play on this team, being one of the only true centers on it?
Well, he's a center. That's his role. You already figured that out. He does what he does. He's active. He's a rebounder. He runs. He knows how to play with teammates. He handled the ball in Miami a lot. On wings, on elbows, on top, GHOs, splits, pick and rolls. He's going to be very valuable to us, and obviously our best rebounder.
Thank you. Next up, Tim Reynolds. Then we'll go to Sean Higgins.
Thanks, Craig. Hey, Pop.
Hi.
To follow up a little bit on Sam's first question, you mentioned yesterday too about the sacrifice players are making, and of course you just referenced it again now, and how you appreciate that it's important to them. What made you decide to make this sacrifice, and why was it important to you as well?
Well, I've always been excited about the Olympics. Just like anybody else, as a kid, you watched whatever you were interested in. And way back in 1972, I was able to try out for the Olympic team, and I didn't make it. I've told this story many times, so I apologize, but the powers that be actually selected Doug Collins instead of me. It's hard to believe, isn't it? it's a joke. But ever since then, being part of the Olympics has been a dream. So any opportunity to be part of something so special, just being around the other coaches I'm with, these players, you kind of look in the mirror and you say, what am I doing here? So that's a hell of a privilege and, great fun. A lot of work, obviously, but you just feel amazed that you can be in that kind of company. So you do it for that reason. And if you can represent your country against the rest of the world to preserve, our game and be the best, that challenge is enervating and something that I look forward to.
Thank you, Pop.
Sean, go ahead, and then we'll go to Raphael Haynes.
Hey, so Pop, today the Japanese government declared another state of emergency because due to COVID. So I'm just wondering, what kind of conversations are you having with the USA basketball higher ups and even maybe some of the Olympic higher ups about contingencies and how prepared are you guys if the situation gets to a point where you guys' plans are going to have to change?
Right. Well, I can tell you. I mean, Jerry Colangelo and Sean Ford, General Dempsey, they're all over that. They're having their discussions every day. I'm sure that they interface with the appropriate officials constantly. I'm not in that mix. I'm worried about what goes on in the court, and I have full confidence that we move forward in whatever direction they tell us to. So it's really out of mind, to be honest with you. There are people that are working on that on a daily, minute-to-minute, basis. So I'll follow their lead.
Raphael, you're up, and then we'll go to Jeff McDonald.
Hey, Pop, hope all is well. This is Raphael Haynes with the 3-point conversion. Pop, kind of a two-part question. You, with so many alphas coming in on this team, and when it comes to leadership, do you let the players figure that out themselves? And then also when it comes to captains, if there are captains, I believe so, but there are captains, how do you work that out? Do you let the players come up with that, or is it by seniority, or how does that work out, if you don't mind sharing?
No, that's, I've actually, obviously I've thought about that. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, to be honest with you. I wanted to come in, run the scrimmages, run the drills, do what we need to do, break bread with these guys, and to some degree see where it lands, instead of, being pedantic and coming in and saying this is the way it is. Get the feel for the group and how they interact, and who ends up, looking like a leader, and go from there and decide how to put that together. So that's the very beginning stages that we're in. Familiarity more than anything for right now.
Jeff McDonald, you're up, and then we'll go with Ed Javelinsky.
Hey, Pop, Jeff McDonald back in San Antonio. How you doing?
Good to see you.
I just had a quick question about Keldon Johnson and what you hope he gets out of this experience with the select team and working against you guys on Team USA.
Basically the same thing that Derek White got out of it last season, or last year. Number one, confidence, knowing that he's regarded in a way that he's been accepted to come and play against the Olympic team. And that would build anybody's confidence. Development, he's playing under Eric Spoelstra, who's obviously a fantastic young coach, and it's great for him to hear some things from a different voice. So I think he'll come out development-wise a better player. So for those two major reasons, thrilled that he's here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Coach. Elmas Sablonskas from Basket News. in your group, you will be playing Czech Republic, which along the way to the Olympics beat Canada team with 8 NBA players. So what does it show about this Czech team? And how would you explain this shrinking gap between usual top teams and the other smaller nations?
Well, number one, the Czech team is an excellent team. We played them last year. They execute very, very well. They're aggressive. Coaches do a great job. They're very experienced. They know what they want to do. They've played together, quite a bit, obviously, like most of the foreign teams. But it shows you that, once again, every year that goes by, teams are better and better, and all these teams will have 1 or 2 more NBA players. So the talent level goes up every year. When you add that to the execution that they have because of playing together so long, there are many formidable opponents, and the Czech team is one of them.
And just a second question real quick. Luka Doncic put up a triple-double performance in the qualifying tournament final against Lithuania team and led Slovenia to the victory. So what does it say about the player when he can maintain such a high level of play in both NBA and FIBA basketball? And how dangerous can Slovenia can be? Thank you.
Sure. Well, he's a spectacular player, as we all know. He's one of the best players in the world. And I emphasize in the world. He, showed himself early on in Europe, and he was a fast study in the NBA for sure. He's fun to watch. His skills, his competitiveness, his size, his innate basketball IQ is so impressive. And, you put 4 hardworking people around him, and you've got a hell of a team. And that's what they have. They are also aggressive. They execute well. The coaching staff is very committed. Everybody wants to win, and nobody wants to win any more than Luka. So I'm sure he's very happy right now, and he'll continue to compete at a high level without any doubt.
Thank you. Casey, you're up, and then we'll go with Darren Haynes.
Coach, Damian Lillard, after taking a cycle off, signed on to go to the Olympics. How happy were you to have Damian in the fold? And since this is his first chance at international competition, how do you think his game translates to the international game?
Well, we'll find out when we get there. It's a different physicality. As you all know, some of the rules are different. But I was thrilled to have him on the team for all the obvious reasons. He's a fantastic scorer. He wants to win. He wants to compete. And he's wanted to do this for a couple of years and been very adamant and vocal about wanting to play on this team, represent the country. So when you get a player that's that skilled, it's a good thing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Pop. Darren Haynes from WSA in Washington, D.C. Good talking to you. I haven't seen you in a decade since I lived in San Antonio and worked out there. But what can you say about Bradley Beal? You always talk about guys maybe pounding the rock. That's one thing I learned from you. But there's a lot of great qualities from Bradley Beal. But what's the one thing that you really like out of him?
His movement. He is hard to keep up with. Whether he's coming off of back picks or whether he's running a pick and roll or if he's coming off of a single double sort of situation, his balance and his movement, both are very impressive. He stops on a dime. He can pull up and shoot the shot. He can shoot the three. He can back cut and leave you in the dust. His movement really informs his shooting. If you think about the space that he creates because of his stop, start, and ability to catch, go up, and knock down the shot. So that shooting ability, along with his excellent footwork, I think is the most impressive thing about him. And he's stronger than I expected. He's a strong young man. I used to think of him as kind of wiry and thin, but I was totally wrong. He's thick.
Thanks, Pop.
Last question, Dave McMenamin.
Hey, Pop, good to see you. I'm out here at the NBA Finals, and we're talking to Monty Williams every day, and it came to the realization that back in 95, 96, you were working with the Spurs, and you had a team that had 4 future head coaches on it in Doc Rivers, Vinny Del Negro, Avery Johnson, and Monty. And I wonder if you have any recollections of that team in particular, but also a young Monty Williams, what you saw out of him that he has told us that you guys have maintained contact throughout this playoff run.
He's he's a special man. He's obviously a fine basketball coach, but his ability to relate to players, to be genuine, to be honest, no tricks, no smoke screens, just straight up caring, loving man. And it shows, it comes out, and players react to it. So back when, he was obviously a young player trying to find his place, and you could tell then that he was a thinking person. You can talk to him about what was going on in games, even at his young age. He was somebody that just innately understood the game, and he had a poise about him, a demeanor that was impressive, just a heck of a teammate at the same time. So those are all traits that have served him well as he's entered the position he's in now.